Welcome back, everyone. So I am going to be recording this in PTU, so some of these things could change, but most of this should be staying the same, as this is the last build before it goes live tomorrow. So most people fully expect at this point for the resource drive, the Second Life resource drive, and 3.2.1. Sorry, 4. Jeez, I'm living in the past. 4.2.1 to be going live as a whole here on Thursday, so aka tomorrow. So let's get into it. I originally want to do an overview, but we'll do that at the end with the look at the rewards. So let's just kind of get into the guide. So up first, also you'll notice that throughout this, there'll be a number of different rewards that I'll be kind of showing off, showcasing those that I've already unlocked. So like the Crusader suit I've got at the front, that I'm wearing here now, as well as the Hurston paint associated with the Argo raft that I have behind me. But anyways, so hit F1. You'll be able to go to the journal section, and at the bottom will be the Second Life resource drive, which is the event we'll be participating in. This is a PvE, largely PvE event that you can solo. However, obviously PvP, some pirating, plundering will be going on as well. So just be mindful of that. So if you're going to partake in that, happy plundering. So here we are. The 4 different systems, as well as the different corporations, are going to be pitted against each other in Stanton to win this particular runoff here. And you'll just be progressing these. As you see Crusader here, I have my own progress, whereas the total progress for everyone else's helping is on the top part. So this is how you'll be able to track it, how you're progressing, unlocking the rewards, as well as just how you're doing. And right now there is no like choosing which of these you want to partake in. It seems like you can just do all of them, which I think is a nice change of pace. All right, let's go ahead and get into the intro session, and then I will start going into the couple missions I recommend and how I recommend doing them. Let's get into it. All right, here we are up over R Corp. So as you see, you can hit F1 and it'll allow you to pick up the contract. And in my case, I'm gonna have to start this mission here at Microtech. So once you've gone to the resource drive, whatever area you're at, I'm not at Microtech actually, I'm at ArCorp. So once you get here, you'll click on the section you're at. If you're at Microtech, pick that one. If you're at Hurston, so forth and so on. I'm working at ArCorp here, so I'm gonna pick this mission. I'm gonna go ahead and accept it. It looks like I'll be going over to Lyria, and there'll be a mining facility I'll be picking up these 3 SUs at. All right, and again, I just wanted to show off the suit that you get from Hurston. It looks like this for all of them, more or less. You're just gonna have different colorization with each of the different ones. So let's get into it. So once you get to your particular location to do the pickup, you'll wanna land towards the cargo elevators. You'll wanna walk up, hit F. Now, if you see this loading content, don't worry about it. It's a long-standing bug. Hit X, walk back up again, and you will see it the next go around. I don't know, like every time, the first time it gets stuck in the loading. So just close it out and then reopen it and you should be good to go. Do wait for the elevator to send it down and you'll see the 3 boxes. Drag them over, pull them up, and we're just gonna load these up and quickly get this brought over to Bajini Point and get this squared away over at ArCorp. Now I actually brought the tractor rifle. You get a little more distance with this. I forgot to load a rifle, so I'll end up doing the ground mission later and grabbing one of the firearms because it just feels weird not having a weapon on me in case I need it for whatever reason. It just seems really odd to me in a game that does require sometimes having some more level of PvP. Now this is an armistice zone, and I won't suspect a lot of people to be messing with people for the entry level missions, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Hauling, maybe. People could be hanging out for the hauling area, so I'm going to recommend not using OM markers. But again, this first mission is going to be super easy. You're just going to pick up these 3 SUs, and this is going to unlock all 10 missions that will be made available at your particular area. Try not to leave doors open like I've done here. Again, it's a PTU. Everybody's done the intro mission, and I think a lot of people are probably tired of the event on the PTU. They're just ready to do it on live at this point. None of the progress that I'm doing here now is going to save, so it's just not even worthwhile for me to do this except for the guide. All right, let's go turn this in. Now, they have made a change in the PTU. It looks like you can now turn at Area 18 or Bajini Point, which is good because now that means that there'll be bigger ships. Before, in the PTU, you couldn't use something like the Idris because you couldn't turn in anywhere. All the stations didn't have extra large hangars. So it seems like they've made a change to that. Once you get to the station, load your 3 boxes on the freight elevator and send them down. You'll be able to complete the mission from there. And then you'll get access to the 10 missions afterwards for that particular area. You can see here, this is the Hurston paint for I almost said Corsair, for the Connie. So definitely a good looking paint. All right, so as far as ships are going, I would recommend doing the Argo raft if you don't already have a good ship that you want to do for this mission. It's going to have a tractor beam on it, which is going to be important for this. And it is just under 71K at Hurston. So if you want to make your way over to Hurston and rent this for at least a day, this is going to be a good option for you. And actually, towards the end of this mission, doing this enough, you could probably buy it as well if you end up liking it. However, I'm going to second recommend the Taurus. If you already have enough money for this, that's fine. I would still recommend it over the Raft. And it is 161K or just under 161K over at Microtech. So that's a good alternative, and it'll allow you to do even more missions. So let's get into the missions itself. So we're going to do the 150K mission. I'm over at Crusader, but depending on wherever you're working out of is up to you. These missions are all going to be the same. So you see this mission for 150K, the large good recoveries. This is going to be more or less meant to be a ground mission. However, you're going to pick up 8 SU boxes. You're going to pick up 10 of those. It says it could be 10 or 8 or smaller, but it's always 10 boxes. I've only ever seen 8 SU boxes, and I've done this mission like 20 times. So I'm not saying it can't be anything different. It could be smaller. I've just seen every time it's been 8 SU boxes. So it's going to be over at Yella. I'm already at Yella, so let's head down. So you're going to get a quantum marker. The guy will talk to you as well. But let's get down there. Now, this mission, again, it's meant to be a ground mission, which is good. But you don't have to actually get out because, again, I've picked a ship that has a tractor beam on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly low in and try to use that to our advantage, because the only thing you have to really fight against is going to be the turret. Again, there'll be ground forces, but we don't even have to get out of our ship because we have the tractor beam and we have external storage. The Taurus is very similar because you can just open up the cargo section for that, and it has an external tractor beam as well. So that's why it's a good alternative, and it has better shields and guns, so it'll allow you even better usage for some of the other missions as well. So we want to dive. Diving is key here. I think the original ping key is V, but feel free to hit escape, go to options and keybinds, and then advanced keybinds, and take a look under the pinging section to see what the ping key is. I've already changed mine, but I believe it starts at V. All right, we're heading on in. The reason I say ping, because you want to check where the floor is. Now, originally in the first few builds, the Raft didn't have any countermeasures, but be mindful of your countermeasures as well. I believe that's G by default. Again, I'm using sticks, so my key bindings are slightly different than what yours may be. So the reason we're coming in low is because we want the terrain to kind of block our B coverage for this, because as we get closer, we're eventually going to get a lock-on from a missile turret. And it's only ever been a missile turret for me. I've never seen a gun turret or anything like that. You can see I'm already radar locked. Missile inbound. Boom. I already hit some kind of rock side. So yeah, this is all you're going to do. You're going to fly in. You want to take it slow, that's fine too. Actually, before I shot this, I did ground myself and hit the ground, so that is a possibility. You just need to get in about 1 kilometer or so. So you want to get about a click out. You can get a little closer than that. You just want to make sure you're mindful of your speed. And as you get closer, it loses the ability to actually shoot at you. I don't know why the bottom map is blinking for me, but again, I have this rock face here to be my cover. But if you need to, pop flares. Alright. Coming in. Okay, I've got better coverage than I thought. I don't want to do this all day, so I'm gonna... Well, look, we're coming in hot. I can see the turret. Again, once you get... I think it's under the 2K, even. Yeah, once you're under 1,000, it no longer locks on you or does anything. That's it. So from here, if you want to just pick up the boxes, you can do that. You're going to get markers for all of them. There are ground forces here. But honestly, I'm going to go ahead and work on killing the turret. Now, this is the first downside for the Raft. I obviously have guns on the top and the bottom. Now, I'm going to step away to kill this turret. The gun on the bottom, you may not have access to because I own the Raft. Or I bought it in game. If you have 3 million, it's a good investment, but you're gonna probably have the top turret. So I'm just gonna get in the side turret here, and I'm gonna use the remote turret key to go ahead and get into this turret and shoot at it. Additionally, it's gonna be a laser cannon for you. So yeah, just kill the turret, and then I'll see you guys on the other side once we're ready to move the boxes after I've killed the turret. All right, as you can see, I have gone ahead and killed the turret. So that is going to be the hardest part of this whole thing. And it took a lot of time because these are size 3s. Now, if you have the Connie, you'll have size 5 Galdarines. And so even though I wasn't getting hit markers, it's going to be much easier to use those Galdarines that are size 5 instead of these size 3s that I have. Again, I have size 1s as well because of the fact that I put them on here, but by default, and when you're renting a ship, you can't mess with the layout of the ship, unfortunately. So head towards the crew quarters in the back here. You'll find a ladder. Head upstairs, and we're going to get to the tractor beam. Right through the door here and to the right is going to be the tractor beam. I've already used it, so hit F. And on the left-hand side, you'll see it's the power button. So you'll have to turn that on and then hit the remote button key. And then you just want to tractor the boxes. And we're just going to put them on the grid. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Again, if you want to land, there is actually a pad over there to the right. Usually all these sections have a pad near them, but doing the ground part is not super necessary. I will admit, if you want to go down there and loot stuff, you can kill with the ship from up here. And then I'm going to have to re-angle the ship here anyways. But you can destroy the ships over there, or you can destroy the ground forces and go loot them if you'd like to. I would say there's at least 10, so that could be incorrect. There might be fewer than 10, but just look around. You'll find out, they'll be shooting at your ship. So check those out, and yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of these boxes on the grid, and then we will make our way over to Seraphim. I'm actually going to drop off at Seraphim. Luckily, they have changed it, so you can do Seraphim or Crusader at this point, or the home station. But yeah, just pick up these boxes. At this point, we'll just be taking them over the drop-off. And again, it's a very super easy mission to do. The only challenge is they have, as of today's patch, they have changed it so you can no longer spam this mission. It looks like they're putting an 8-minute kind of cooldown timer, if you will, with these large missions. So, I'd like to say you can just spam this over and over, but I'm going to have a second mission we'll be working on. And between these two, it should be about 8 minutes. So you should be able to do this again after you do the second mission. So these are the ones I'm going to be spamming. You can also put the hauling mission in there on occasion, but unfortunately with the hauling mission, I have a feeling that a lot of people will be doing that. And those areas are going to be full of different people, and it's just going to be quite a challenge to be doing those because there'll be basically people waiting in line to do those at those areas. All right, pick up the rest of these boxes. I'm going to pick up these other 3 that are off screen here, and we will make our way over to the turn-in. I'll see you guys on the turn. All right, unloading the boxes is pretty straightforward. Just land at either Seraph. Well, in my case, you want to land at I'm at Seraphim because I'm in Crusader, but land at either the main location, the main hub. So at Microtech, land at New Babbage. If you're here in Crusader, you can go to Orison, you go to Area 18 over at ArcCorp, or you can go to Hurston or Lorville over in Hurston. Or you can go to the satellite location just above that. So either one of the two, they'll be marked as well. And they'll also tell you in the, as you see on the top up there, it tells me I can go to Orison or Seraphim. All right, once you've done that, unload your boxes into the crate, or the crates into the freight elevator, and then you're just going to walk over and send it down. Now, sometimes when you pick up the elevator piece, you're going to find that it gives you a loading screen. Don't worry about that. You can always back away and then reopen it, and it should go away. That's it. So this mission complete. It'll be 150k and 80 SCUs towards the mission. So up next, I'm going to grab the Connie, but the next mission we're going to take is the 127k. So if you go here, oh, nice. All right, because this is PTU, it didn't complete it for me, but make sure you grab the 10 boxes like I did here. The PTU does have a bug where you can't, sometimes it isn't complete, but I have personally completed it. It just is bugged out right now. So hopefully they got that fixed for live. All right, so up next, we're going to take the, you could do the heavy shipment if you want to. Again, I'm not recommending that one. I'm recommending the 127K. What you're going to do for this one is we're going to make our way over to a ship. Now, it is damaged. If it is the 2 ships I've only ever seen is the C2 and the Caterpillar. If it is the Caterpillar, it's going to be damaged. If it's the C2, it's not damaged. What we're going to do is we're going to clear out some of the fighters and just get in it and fly away. You can actually just fly it to the station and do the turn-in. So it's a very easy mission to complete because you don't have to bring a cargo ship. You can do whatever ship you want to bring. I'm going to bring out the Connie just because it'll be the better option. I'll clear out the fighters, and I'll show that initially, but I won't show you through the whole thing just because it's just going to take some time. All right, I'll see you guys when we get to the mission area. Sorry, popping some flares. I didn't hear any noise. So you get to the site. Now I will end up leaving my ship, which is not necessarily ideal, but again, if you want to kill all these and load them up in your vehicle, you can do that. But for me, I just find it easier to go ahead and kill the ships and then fly the ship away. And it is a pretty quick 5 minutes insured recovery for the Connie, so it's not that big a deal. All right, so I'm going to kill all these fighters, and then I will make my way over to either the caterpillar or the C2, and I'll see you guys on that side. All right, I've got a C2 here. So again, once you've cleared out all the bad guys, now you can clear out most of the bad guys, or if you want to use a pulse, you could try that, give that a go. Just go ahead and load up the pulse and use that to fly over to the ship, and you can avoid kind of all the different air bad guys that are around. You know, essentially the I don't know if these are considered pirates or kind of what's going on with these guys, but anyways, you can avoid all of them with the pulse. And if it's a C2, it'll be really easy to fly away because the C2 is still going to have a fair amount of shielding and health associated with it. The caterpillar could be a bit rough. The other thing I want to note about this is you don't want to go to, especially with the caterpillar, you don't want to go to the main station, because if you do that, you'll find that the caterpillars will be hard to fly in Atmo because it's so damaged. So again, that's just been my experience, and I'm just sharing that with y'all. So, you know, your mileage could vary, but again, I'm going to avoid going, I would just go to the space stations associated with your particular planet if you want to take the caterpillar over. But C2 doesn't seem to matter as much because it's not damaged, but the caterpillar itself is damaged enough that it'll be hard to fly in Atmel. So I'm not going to recommend that you go to, you know, in my case, I would go to Oris, and that would not be a good choice there. I would need to go to Seraphim instead. All right, now again, the way this is working in the PTU, I'm assuming it'll go this way in live as well, but you could unload this if you wanted to. It would mostly fit. Some of these boxes are not going to fit into the Taurus. That's just the nature of the beast. So that's why I'm going ahead and flying away. Now, I will have to, again, do insurance to get my my Taurus back, if that's the route I want to take. I could try this in the raft. I would think that wouldn't go as well. But obviously the other mission is much easier, but this is just kind of a workaround that you can use if you don't have a hauling ship. Don't be afraid to do the large mission and still just end up using this ship. So we'll just get in the driver's seat here. Power it up and fly away. As you see right ahead of me is Crusader. So we'll go to Seraphim. That's it. As easy as can be. So I did show this. I think I showcased this a little bit in my salvaging video update that I did. But all you need to do now is unload this. Up next is pretty easy. You're going to unload. Now, you will need a max lift. Now, if you're at Seraphim and all those different areas, you can just go in and buy a tractor beam in the cargo section if you'd like to. So that is an option. I just brought one with me, and that's going to be the kind of preferred way to do this. Now, you do have to turn in the 9 boxes. If for whatever reason you're missing the boxes, you're going to miss out on the money. That just is the way it is. You can't, like a hauling mission, turn in what you've got and make a bit of money. However, if you do get any boxes at all, it will go towards your progress anyways. So it's not that big a deal. But again, at this point, it's just unloading the boxes. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you guys when I'm ready to send down the freight. So here we are loading up the last box just a few minutes later. So it's pretty easy to get all the boxes unloaded. Now, you cannot use this C2. You will have to burn it or, you know, log out to a different server or something, because I did try that. Now, you could try it, but I had mine despawn. So I wasn't able to continue to do more missions. I was hoping to just move on to a hauling mission, but unfortunately it didn't work for me. There we go. Send down my 9 boxes that will contribute and complete the mission. Again, there were some other bugs with the previous mission, but this one completed correctly. I did get the audio in the last one, so I'm not sure what happened there, but I've gone ahead and completed it. This mission is a bit harder, but it does give you, less money as well, less AUC, but does give you more progress towards the mission. It's worth 1.5 as much, so you get, you know, maybe essentially anywhere from 20 to 40 extra SUs than the first mission I showed before. All right, last but not least, let's take a look at and talk about the rewards. So with each of these different categories, all 5 of these tiers are going to give you a reward for that particular system. It's largely going to be a color paint scheme associated with that particular reward. So for tier 1, you're going to get a multi-tool and a Falston jumpsuit. That was the jumpsuit I was wearing in the intro there. I was wearing the Crusader version. Again, you will have the same reward for each of these tier 1s, but the colorization of those will be different. After that, you will have a tier 2 reward. That will include the Pulse pistol, as well as the Strata armor set that I'm currently wearing. So that's the next option. I also showed that Strata armor set in the intro mission. Tier 3. Tier 3 will give you the reward of a Prism shotgun, which is aka the Volt shotgun, as well as the liveries for the Aurora, Spirit, and the Zeus. Tier 4 will give you the Quartz SMG, aka the Pulse SMG, and it will give you the liveries for the Connie, the Freelancer, and the Raft. Some of those I actually showed off in this particular video. And then tier 5, you're going to win out the last few rewards here. There'll be the Parallax Rifle, aka the Pulse Rifle, as well as the liveries for the Caterpillar, the Starlancer, and the Starlifter, aka the Hercules. So those are the rewards you're going to have options to get. On top of that, it is mentioned or leaked, I think, that there would be a reward for the winning area as well. So in this case, obviously you see Hurston's ahead. This is the first time I've seen this. Usually Microtech is the one that's in the lead. So I think it'll be competitive with these two. These other here, they kind of changed places back and forth, but this looks pretty familiar to the layout, again, except Hurston's in the lead. Usually Microtech is the one that's leading, but I think the paints are strongest with the Hurston, so I feel like that's pretty good. The reason I say that for relevancy is we don't know how they're going to give out that tier 6 reward, if there is one. Hopefully we'll get more details about that tomorrow, but if they do, they'll either give it to everybody who takes part, whether you do the intro mission or otherwise, or they'll give it to whoever completes the whole section. That could be the option, or it could be if you did the intro mission for that particular corporation. We don't know yet. Hopefully tomorrow they'll have more details on that. Anyways, let me know if you have any questions down below. These are the kind of missions that you want to take part in. Again, I recommend that 150k. It's super easy. You're just going to kill a turret, grab the 10 boxes of 8 SU each, and you're going to go and turn it into the turn-in spot. That's super easy. Unfortunately, again, because of the recent nerf, you're not going to be able to do that every 7 or 8 minutes or so. However, that 127k is a good alternative. You could just do a hauling mission as well. Again, the concern I have with the hauling mission is you're going to have so many people trying to do that the stations or the areas you're going to go to do the pickups are going to be overloaded with people, unfortunately. On top of that, there is the option, again, there's the blanket mission under contracts that's going to be available to each of the areas, and it's just a catch-all where no money is shown here, but it'll allow you to go ahead and get some money for each of these turn-ins. It tells you how much you're going to get. It's 803 for copper. You get a little over 1,000 for tungsten, and corundium is 810. So you can mine for these. You can go pick them up in bounty hunting missions. You could try ambushing. Whatever mission, submission types, you can try to work on those, and you'll get different SU containers for those. So that could be an alternative if you want to break up the monotony of this gameplay. Anyways, that's what I got for y'all. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please let me know down below. And I appreciate y'all taking the time to like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.